So the energy that I've been getting for like the past week or so is that you feel stuck. You feel stuck. You feel, you know, you like you may have an idea of how you want to move forward. However, it's just like I don't know, you're just kind of feeling like a little bit down, like the energy is down. Maybe you're feeling a bit under the weather. Maybe it's like you don't necessarily have the motivation or the push to do things. Um like I do feel like you have some sort of idea of where you're going, but then it's just like you still feel stuck. It's like no matter what you put out or no matter what you do, the movement that you're seeing isn't quite enough. Like it's just you feel very, very stuck and you're wanting to start, but I feel like this like stop, start, stop, start, stop, start energy from you where it's just like you can't fully hold this sort of frequency of like this where you're trying to go. You can't fully hold on to that. Oh, there's a drawing on the wall. I was like looking at it. I was like, what the heck? But you can't fully hold on to that frequency of like where you're trying to go. And you're not sure why. You're not sure why. Because you have a clear idea of where you want to go. You have a like decent idea of how you want to get there. However, it's just like you can't, like you're having a hard time locking into that frequency. Like you're having a hard time without a compass. I feel like you're naturally somebody who uses relationships with others, whether they're platonic or familial relationships. I feel like you're somebody who naturally uses your relationships to other people to kind of guide you or use those things as a compass. And you've gotten so used to using like things externally and how you relate to people as a compass that you have a hard time guiding yourself with your own inner compass or your own inner light. So if you go back to that one video I spoke about, I think it's titled "Why Haven't They Texted You Back Even Though They Want to?" Um, I kind of spoke about how you guys have like this energy of just it's just kind of next level. It's always pushing people to be the best version of themselves, and they either have to meet you in that best version of self or they get fucked essentially. Like you meet me here or you get left behind, and it kind of forces you kind of act as a catalyst. It's not that you're being placed in specific people's lives to be a catalyst, but you kind of act as a catalyst. And I feel like it's also beneficial to you too, because like I had said, you will kind of lock on to futures and like frequencies like based on connections that you make. So if you're interested in being friends with somebody, it's like you can almost see the energy of the future or the connection and where that's going. And then you're like, do I like this energy? Do I like this frequency? And I don't necessarily feel like it's something you always do consciously. It's just whether you feel drawn to these people or not. But it's like you're almost drawn to these people based on future timelines that they can unlock. Like these people for you, while you might be a catalyst for them, they're like keys and compasses to, or like directions to the next frequency, right? And I feel like you are in between. I feel like you're in an in between state. I feel like, over this past like year, you have spent a lot of time clearing out energy, clearing out like relationships, whether they're family relationships or friendships or romantic relationships, even like this could be like work partnerships, or like if you worked for a specific company, um, you could have quit, you could have moved, you could have like you've just spent the last year of your life really clearing your energy and kind of cleansing your space and starting like from a blank canvas, right? Because again, you have kind of used everybody else to kind of guide your light. And while it was an effective way, and it is an effective way to guide your light, it's almost the only way that you know how. And so right now I feel like you're in an in between where I feel like you've cleared out a lot of the old gunk, a lot of the old garbage. Like maybe when you started on this specific path that you're on, you were using, you know, a failed relationship or a relationship that you were like, this isn't necessarily exactly what I want. Like one of those relationships that you were clearing out, you used the lessons that you learned from that to kind of guide you on where to go next. And like that's kind of how you move, but it works better when you're actively in some sort of like unraveling. So like the unraveling of a relationship, like it works better when that's actively happening, right? And because you don't have anything like that that's actively happening, it feels like you're like, I don't even know where to go. I don't even know what to do. I don't, like, I'm feeling stuck. And it's not that you're actually stuck. You have a good idea. It's just that it's a weird energy. It almost feels icky. That's the best word I have for it, but it's just like it almost feels icky or like not right to try to move from your like own like internal compass. It's like because you're not seeing the progress or you're not seeing the movement that you would like. So to me this kind of feels like you have recently had a breakthrough in some sort of connection that I feel like you were still probably processing or like holding on to. And I feel like you've had some sort of breakthrough here in a sense where it's just like you're not as tied to this person, or you're not using this person as a compass in the same way that you used to. Like you're naturally phasing out of it, because that's what happens when you're in these relationships and you know do these things. It's like you'll naturally phase yourself out of using these people as a compass, but you normally have something else, whether you know enter back. Like a lot of times after you get out of a relationship, you start spending a lot more time with your friends. Oh, sorry about that, but a lot of the times you start spending a lot more time with your friends, and like I feel like you've kind of separated yourself from a lot of people, even family. Like I just feel like you kind of are on your own right now, and that's by design. It's to give you like this blank slate to move explicitly from your own sense of self, but it feels weird because instead of pulling on somebody else's energy or like the connection and like analyzing the connection, it's like you're having to move from within. And your connection with self, you don't really have to analyze all that much, because I feel like over the course of all of this time you have been analyzing. Every time you're analyzing your connections with other people, every time you've been getting to know your connections with other people, you've been simultaneously getting to know your connection with yourself, and you've been living with yourself your entire life. So it's like you're very, I would say, very attuned to who you are. But the thing is, because you're so attuned to who you are, it actually makes it harder to listen to yourself. So you could be trying to do meditation, you could be trying to pull like cards if you're a tarot reader yourself, like you could be trying to work out or spend time outside or paint or whatever, like anything to just kind of clear your mind. Because even though I feel like you understand yourself very deeply and on a level that even not like a lot of your relationships never even reached, obviously, like they're not ever going to reach the level in which you like know. And like, god, my hair is terrible. I didn't do my hair today, that's why I'm, but it's like they're not going to reach a certain, they're only going to reach a certain level. They're not going to reach the level in which you know yourself. And so it's like you don't necessarily have to do the same things, and the tactics or whatever that you would use in the past to kind of gauge if you're on the right path don't necessarily work with you. Like the only thing that actually works to know where you are or how you want to move forward is to listen to yourself. And you have a really easy time ignoring yourself. And I feel like this energy of stuckness, and it's like even though I feel like you have an idea of how you want to move forward, or you know how you want to move, or you know where you want to go, and you have at least the next step, but for some reason you can't bring yourself to do it. It's like you feel this block, you feel this resistance to yourself. And yeah, that's what I was gonna pull some cards on. It's just like you feel this resistance to yourself. And it's a really, really weird energy to be in. Like, the energy just feels really weird. It feels like, I don't know, it kind of feels like, you know, when you know you can do something or you should do something, and then, like, everything is telling you not to do that thing for some reason. Like you just feel like you can't physically make yourself do that thing. Like, that's kind of the energy. It's like, it's almost a stubborn energy. I was hearing Taurus for a second there, but very, like, stubborn energy. But it's not like you're being intentionally stubborn. It's like something feels off. Something feels like there's some sort of disconnect that feels really off. And it just feels like you're trying to pinpoint the source, or you're trying to figure out why it feels that way instead of moving forward. Like, you're spending so much time resisting this thing instead of just, like, resisting this feeling or resisting being uncomfortable because you don't really understand why you feel so uncomfortable. I don't know. We're gonna pull some cards on it. Spirit, what can you tell me about their blockage? What can you tell me about this blockage? Clarify. But why this then? Okay, so the block is a block in your happiness. We have the 10 of Cups with the 10 of Pentacles. It's like there's a blockage here with your long-term happiness, commitment, your legacy, all of that type of stuff. Like your long-term, your life goals. Like, these are like, there's a blockage with where you're going in your life. What's going to make you emotionally happy? What's going to make you fulfilled? What's going to give you that stability, like that commitment to yourself? It feels like there's some, like, okay, so I feel like this is kind of like what I've already talked about. I feel like the cards are kind of just confirming that, is where, like, you're trying to build legacy, long-term happiness. Again, this could be in all areas, like career. I'm feeling specifically very much so career and, like, house and home building, just like stability, like practical stability wise, like you're feeling this blockage. However, this could be, again, in partnerships, in community, romantic partnerships, anything like that. Like, but it just feels like you're trying to build something long term, something concrete, something emotionally fulfilling, something that's here to stay. Like, something that is here to stay. And you're getting really, really burnt out because you're not allowing this transition. You're not allowing some sort of transition here. What transition are we trying to make? What's the transition? Yeah, we're trying to make the transition from relying on, this actually came out in the reverse, relying on connections that are broken and not working, like failed connections, in order to guide us in our transition. So like the transition that we're trying to make right now is like, you don't have necessarily a failed connection or a point of reference for this type of movement that you need to be doing. I feel like maybe you did when you started this thing, like you were doing it for a reason. I want to prove something, I want to be this, I want to do that, you know, like I got to start something better for myself. But you don't really have that point of reference right now, like not something like fueling you in the same way, and you're transitioning from that. Okay, so how do they approach this blockage? Okay, so you approach the blockage with a clear mind, a calm mind, and from your intuition. From your intuition with a calm mind. But how do you do that? Because I just feel like maybe you're trying and you're hitting resistance. How do they do that? How do they approach it with a clear mind? How do they approach this with a clear mind? And how do they... I'm getting the energy of like you already know how to approach this, and it's like you've maybe learned it in these connections that you were in. You learned how to, you approach it the same way as you would in a connection, as you would leaving like one of those connections. You approach it the same way as you would when you're, you know, having one of those connections and you're leaving those, and then you're using kind of that to kind of fuel your glow up. You approach it the exact same way. With purpose, moving from something towards something else. I feel like when you get into these like energies, you're just kind of like in this energy of like when you're getting out of these relationships, you're kind of in this energy of like, I'm gonna show them, you know, I'm gonna prove myself, I'm gonna do something for myself, like I don't deserve this, I deserve better. And I feel like you move from a place of like purpose, like I'm walking away from this thing, but I'm walking away from this thing to move towards something better for myself. And you don't have that sort of drive when it's just yourself. It's like you can kind of see your reality, you can kind of see where you are, and you can kind of see where you want to go, but you don't have that same amount of drive that you have when you're like, oh, I want to prove this person wrong, or I want to show them, or whatever. And it's like you're almost waiting for that sort of inspiration to come, but it's like it's something that you have to give to yourself. Tell me more. There's also a need to stop like only wanting to do better for yourself when you're trying to prove somebody wrong or prove it to somebody. Like there's a need to like maybe prove it to yourself. Like prove it to yourself. It's like you only want to show up for me when it's like a fuck you to somebody else. It's like, how about you just show up for me? How about you just be there for me? Like, this would, like, if anybody has ever been in, like, maybe even, like, a situationship where, like, there's, like, you're talking to a person and it's, like, you're in this weird sort of, like, energy, and maybe they're talking to somebody else, too, or maybe they're still with their ex, but they're still kind of with you, and it's, like, on a normal day, it's, like, maybe you guys are cool, maybe you guys are not, but it's like somebody who keeps being like, I don't want anything to do with you, and then their ex makes them mad, and then they come back and now they want you. It's like they only want you during certain circumstances. Like, I feel like that's kind of the way that you're treating yourself. It's like, you know that you love yourself and you know that you want to show up for yourself, but you're only showing up for yourself for a certain amount of time after a situation happens. And it's like, why can't you just show up for me regardless of what's going on? Like, why can't we just push to be the best we can be and like really build together? Like, why do we have to have the world falling apart around us? Why do I have to be in so much emotional pain to really just like put the pedal to the metal and focus on what's right for me and what I want to do? Like, why do we have to be in such an energy of just like, again, the world is crumbling around us? Why can't you just show up for me the way that I know you want to show up for me? It's like all of those energies that you're taking and you're placing on these other people, where you're like, oh my god, like, they could just show up for me, or they could just like do this. And it's like, well, if they, like, why would they do this if like why would they lie and say this and do that, like, when they could just have a conversation? Or they're not going to show up for me when XYZ. Do you know, like, look at the comments. Like, you'll find tons of comments like that on tarot content in general. But it's very much so, like, take that same energy and apply it to yourself, because there's 100% somewhere in your life that you are not showing up for yourself and only give yourself like half effort, or you only give yourself effort when something specific is happening. This is the Knight of Wands, I think, at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, it's like it's sporadic, it's impulsive, it's not consistent effort. Like the Knight of Pentacles would be like slow, steady, consistent effort. It's the Knight of Wands where it's sporadic. It's not locked in. It's like sometimes you're really hot about it, sometimes you're really not about it. And it's like that same sort of committed energy that you're giving to these other connections, even connections that aren't even like in your life currently. It's like you give so much committed energy to connections, and you show up for these people in these connections, and you're like, why can't you guys show up for me in this way or whatever? But I feel like you're not necessarily showing up for yourself in that way either. And that's why you keep having this kind of mirrored to you, where these people aren't being consistent with you. These people aren't being consistent with you because you're not being consistent with yourself. You don't know how to take care of yourself long term and push yourself to that next level. You want other people to come with you to this next level, but what you don't realize is it's not just you. Like, you need these other people to propel you forward. Even though you may be doing the work alone, you've been using these other people to propel you forward. And that's why in that last video, I'm like, I don't feel like this is a place for like self-pity, because it's like those other people are being hurt just as much, but it's also like it's benefiting you as well. Like while you're not using these people, like, to these people, it seems like, well, they just like came into my life, they were this person, and now they're a different person. It's like, okay, like, I was just kind of a stepping stone sort of thing. Like, I wasn't that real. I wasn't that like, the connection necessarily wasn't that genuine, and da 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 da. And I feel like this energy of separation that you have, or like this separation that you are in currently with other people, even with yourself, it's to connect you to yourself. It's to get you back connected to yourself, because I feel like you're somebody who doesn't realize, again, how you've kind of been feeding into these energetic loops and feeding into these karmic cycles of like, oh, like, I'm used as a catalyst. Yes, you are, but those people are also being used as a catalyst. Those people also are left with feelings of like, it wasn't that deep to you, or it didn't mean as much to you, because you don't realize how you're also using their energy and you're using them as a guide. Like, and that's the thing. It's like, I just feel like there's like, I don't know, there's kind of some dissonance there. Like, people, there's dissonance in the sense that like, we don't realize how much of the stuff that happens to us is a reflection of us. And like, we like to think all of these things happen independently of us, but it's like, if this is something that repeatedly happens in your life, you're repeatedly being used as a catalyst, how are you using others as a catalyst, and how are you not showing up for yourself in their absence, right? Like, how are you not driving yourself forward? Are you only using their like little boosts of energy that you get when you're in a relationship, and then when the relationship ends, to kind of propel yourself forward and move yourself forward? Are you holding that same frequency and that same energy while you're alone? If you've been alone for a while, are you holding that same energy and intensity about yourself and about your healing and about propelling yourself forward in life and in your career and stuff like that when this person isn't necessarily in the picture? Can you do it if they're not involved, if it's not to prove them wrong, if it's not to prove something to anybody but yourself? If they weren't going to see it, would you still do it? If nobody was going to see it, would you still do it? Do you still do it even though some people can't see some of the stuff that you're doing, some of the work that you're doing? Like, that's the energy. Anyway, we're going to get a couple more cards and then we're going to just close this out. But what's the vibe? What's the vibe? Okay. I feel really like compelled to go back to that part where I just said, like where I was talking about how you use people as a stepping stone too. Again, not really an intentional thing. The same way it's not really an intentional thing for them to use you as a catalyst. I also feel like, again, the universe isn't placing you in these spots. Like, that's very much so like an energy of victim mentality. If you're like, ugh, I just, like, oh my god, like, I'm just always a catalyst, like, da 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 da. The universe isn't putting you in these positions to be a catalyst. You just carry that energy. And I feel like that's really important to note, that you just carry that energy. You're not being placed anywhere. Nothing's happening to you. You just carry an energy that catalyzes people, but you also don't realize at the same time that you are also using others as a catalyst. And so there's that disconnect there, and where you're not seeing that you're not actually showing up for yourself in the way that you need to be, because you have kind of become dependent on these catalysts in order to propel yourself forward. And that's kind of what I'm trying to say. I just feel like I needed to make that distinction. I don't know if I made that clear. All right. So you approach it the same way that you would after a breakup, when you're trying to have that post-breakup glow up, or when you're determined to like bring somebody back into your life or whatever, and you want to improve and you want to do better. Like, that's the same energy that you approach it with. Any advice for them going forward? Right. There's a need to just do here. It's like you have a lot of great ideas and you have the energy to just do the thing. It's like you have so many great ideas and you have this energy backing you to just do what it is that you want to do. And that's how judgment comes. That's how you get out of this. It's not to sit and wait and plan and make sure things are perfect and that you're perceived as perfect and that, you have the right energy and, the energy feels off, so I don't necessarily want to do it, whatever. It's like, no, like, you have to do it. You have to get out and do it. Like, the energy is just start. Like, the advice going forward is just anytime you feel that blockage, do it anyway. Even if it doesn't turn out the way that you want it to turn out, you have to do it anyway. You have to keep yourself in a perpetual state of moving, because I feel like you are somebody who gets, I'm seeing in uh, the Breaking Dawn part, is it Breaking Dawn part 2, where the two like Italian, are they Italian? I don't know. The two little vampires that come to like fucking the weird ones, right? Who really want to fight the Volturi, and they're talking about how they were sitting for so long that they, and stuff would always come to them, and so they didn't realize that they were starting to petrify. It's like, you're somebody who, yes, like, you should be in a receiving mindset and you should be in a receiving energy. However, like, you get very stuck. Like, if you don't consistently keep yourself moving, you'll get stuck. Like, this could also translate to, like, if you work out or whatever. It's like, you could be somebody who, like, works out and then maybe you get sore, so you give yourself some rest, and that 1 or 2 days rest turns into 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Now it's been 2 months. Now it's been 3 months, and then you start over, and the cycle just repeats. It's like, this could be something that actively translates into that area of your life too, like actual movement. You could have bad luck with cars or car troubles, things like that. But the energy is just like, it's like, when you stop moving, you get comfortable not moving, and you start to feel stiff when you're moving, and that's that icky feeling. It's like, even though you know what you're doing and you know where you need to go, and you know what's good and what's not good, like, you know the path, you see the path, you have a clear idea of what your compass is, right? Like, you have a hard time listening to yourself and actually doing things and holding yourself accountable. However, it's like, you have a clear vision, and that clear vision is your compass, and you know, if you don't know the next 10 steps, you at least know the next step, or something that you can do, or the next step adjacent, like, you know what I mean? And it's just like, the more you don't do them, the more used to not doing them you get. But the more that you do them and the more that you practice them, it's like, it gets easier. I'm hearing for somebody, meditation is really important. Meditation is going to be really important for you. Moving your body is going to be really important to you. If you're trying to start some sort of business, because this seems to be very, like, career oriented, I do genuinely feel like you are on the path to be successful. Like, you are on the path to be successful, to blow up, to have great fame and fortune, if that's what you want. Like, you are on the path to gain everything that you want. However, the only thing standing in your way is you and the inconsistencies. And it's like, if you're trying to start a business, do one business related thing every day, right? Like, just do one thing related to that business every single day. If you're trying to, you know what I mean? Like, you just have to do one thing. It doesn't have to be a large thing. It doesn't have to be the one thing that's going to change everything. But all of those individual things together is going to be the thing that changes everything for you. It's going to be the thing that culminates to this larger change that you're waiting for. And I just feel like you're waiting for it to come to you, and you're not necessarily walking. And while that's a good thing that you're in an open and receptive mindset, it's just like, you're stagnant and you're focused on it, and you feel stagnant and you feel it kind of gnawing at your insides. And it's like, you need to release your grip on it. And the way you release your grip on it is by acting on it. And it seems counterintuitive, but you're just like sitting here ruminating in your head of like, well, how can I get this? Or this isn't working out for me. Or I'm not seeing the amount of change that I want to see. I'm not seeing the movement that I want to see. XYZ, you know what I mean? And then you're just kind of sitting here ruminating on it, when you could just be putting active effort towards it, active output towards it, and that alone kind of shakes some of that stagnancy. So it's like, you may still not be seeing the exact, movement that you want to see in that moment. However, it gets some of that energy moving. Like, it's stuck. It's like the same energy of like money. And I feel like for a lot of you, that's what you're trying to call in. Money does not like to be held on to. Money likes to circulate, right? So it's like, you're like getting all this energy and you're like, I can see the future. I'm holding on to it so tight. but you're not putting anything back out. You're not putting anything back out. You're just waiting for more and more and more to come to you. And it's like, you need to put at least something out. You need to do at least one thing. If you need to make a website, work on your website for 10 minutes a day. You know, like, if you need to network, you know, find a fucking opportunity to network. Like, that is the energy. It's like, do something, put some output towards it, because it needs an outlet. Like, you need an outlet. And then there's also, like, the need to, like, reconnect more with your body and reconnect more with yourself through meditation and maybe movement, like exercise or yoga or whatever the case is. It's just like, reconnect with yourself, give yourself an outlet, get more acquainted with yourself and the feeling of your intuition and the feeling of your own internal compass and your own internal motivation, your own light, your own driving force. And then, as well as, give yourself an outlet, because I feel like it's just like a pot about to boil over is the energy. It's just like, something's about to burst. Like, it's like you have so much energy within you that's cultivated for this thing, and it's like, you don't trust yourself to move forward. You don't necessarily feel the direction clearly. Even though you have a clear vision of where you want to go, you just don't know the direction clearly, and you like to trip yourself up a little bit. And it's like, it's about to burst. Like, the pressure is becoming too much. Like, you need to let out some pressure. So, anyway, that is all I have for you. I really hope that you enjoyed that. And personal readings linked in the description. Bye. Love you.